The result was a 2-2 draw. The host's advantage is still in the hands of the Thunder. Game 3 claims are still very popular. I was the first person to play Game 3 in the world. The community has a lot of people who are interested in the language. The end of power must be accepted openly. Maybe the series is no longer in the air. But there are unlimited possibilities in the middle of autumn. On the one hand, the young players of Mars will continue to make progress. The government has also been trying to force the government to stop the violence. The game is a game of chance, and the game is a game of chance. How sad is it? What is the shortcut to their lineup? If you want to achieve a real dynasty, what changes are needed in the final period? Today, let's talk about the possibility of adjusting the staff of Mass. Let's just talk about the Game 3 meeting on Mars. This is the fourth strongest match of the Messina season. The first time I missed a crucial moment. The first time a ball was thrown at a book ball was a waste of time. The game is a remarkable achievement for the team, and it is the second game in the series. The first time the country has lost a match since mid-January. The first time it has lost a match since mid-January. The result was a loss of 15 points. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this, but I'm still going to use this as a way to describe it. The most valuable reason for this strength? The truth is that the troops are deeply blown up. The main stadium was blown up. The opening match was 15-0 and the result was red. The first time I saw the video, I was in the middle of a conversation with a friend of mine. The opposition quickly made adjustments. The first phase of the competition was held in the city of San Francisco. The second stage of the third series of Direct vs Super Ratio. The first time the police had tried to penetrate the building, the miners had stopped the operation. The first match of the season was held in the city of San Francisco, California. The two towers were used by the lightning strike. The first is the Hassites Tower, which is the symbol of the Hassites. This round of chat, this double space, is switching back and forth. The third round with 6.5 points was a response to the confidence of the writing coach. The video was shot on the internet, and the video was shot on the internet. McKinn's use of horseback riding. The result was a single score of 24. The first is the Battle of the Sexes, which is a slashing of the balance sheet and the scattering of the middle third of the free stamps. The game was even a series of shocks, with the horses being pushed under the blue of the horses' ties. The first is that the military has been able to stop the attack on the landing sites of the former Soviet Union. They have no good response. Attack shortened game simple. The cauldron of Coronetta is not renewed as a replacement fire part. The second part even took some time. Bit Cauldron attempted to organize after more than 10 seconds of ineffective ball play. This is typical of people who don't let the right people do the right thing. According to the data, the match's replacement players and class scored only 23 points. The number of people who have been killed is 716. I have already mentioned this. McKinn has scored 24 points in a single match. I'm going to see the blue board again. I'm going to tell you about the series before it starts. This is Mars Lifeline. The result was 4 points, 37-41. The second offensive hit rate was 6.6 and the opponent hit a 6.6 second offensive hit rate. In addition, the number of blue hits in the head is also high. In the meantime, the number of people who have been killed in the attack is about 1/3. The first is that the government is not going to take the initiative to change the situation. The book is not surprisingly unscripted. Of course, Game 3 is a 2-point offense. The first is that the military is not a military force. This is not the focus of this video. So we didn't talk about it. In fact, I finally came back and spoke to the community. The most important point is, the more people hit the key moments, the more people hit the streets. The more people hit the less. The deep gaps that have killed the tower. The first is the mass shooting. So we should look back at the current team. The problem is that the people of the country are not able to get their money back. If we don't go back to last summer, we'll have to go back to the past. I think that's the best way to do this. How many people think about this? The next race, the 252.6 level, will be held in March. The team is a competitive team. After all, their big family is their big family. The first race in the series was a double-double. The team failed to score even in the extra game. The team still has more young players. It takes time to practice and grow. The report also highlights the importance of the new policy. I think that the people of the region should be able to do this. The first is to ensure the number of additions based on the number of participants. Trying to fight 1 to 6 is staying in the 6th. The result is, Mass scored 62 points to finish second. The first is the second highest level in the league. The team then went 8-3 in the first 2 rounds of the next game. The strong stand before the Champions League. I think this is a different story. The problem is that we have a lot of people who are not in the same boat as us, and we are not in the same boat as the other two. Closed by Pony, Castle and Harper. The growth rate and progress of these three core countries. This is far beyond anyone's imagination. I was really the MVP player who was beaten by the Puma. The overall impact of the coalition could be the top three. Castle from Togo. The Union for the Advancement of Science and Technology USO has been the leading authority on the issue of functional defense. He is also one of the top out-of-line guards. Harper is a teenager and a grown-up. How to play like a bird. The first is that the average person is a very good person. The first time I saw a baby, I was in a coma. The first time I saw the video was in the background. He was a runner-up in the first race of the season. Injecting heart rate. How to protect the common from being tricked. It looks like the Union should be killed. I don't think I've ever seen a man on stage before. One of the stable shifts. The first three are not like normal people. The first is that the government has not been able to keep up with the progress of the CBI. The first is that the government is not going to be able to do anything. The Stars' designs and team needs will be aligned. The first is the City of the Dead and the second is the City of the Dead. The mass administration clearly does not believe this. 25Z6 is their usual year. So, in terms of personnel deployment, the first is that the country is not a country that is not a country. The 10th in the team, 15 in the team. The 3-year-old is a bigot. McLaughlin is a writer. Water is the water. The 3 ghosts. Alinik. Planley is a small town. Vianbo is a great place to visit. The 5 were completely unable to cope with the intensity of the refusal to continue the race. No longer able to be a wizard. Becoming the backbone of the mass. The first is the born CB. The first is that the internet is not a place to go. I think it's a bit of a mystery. We talked about the video before the thunderstorm. The top edge is the only one. The first is the sober. Almost all people are available. Canary Williams' location. The first time I saw a woman in the country, I was a teenager. This is why we are presenting. The more thunderstorms hit, the more people. The more people in the mass get in less awkward situations. If the administration of MAS really believes that the government is doing something wrong, it will be a good thing. This is the year of the championship. The first is that the government is not going to let its own board learn. I'm not sure what to do. This is a great opportunity. I'm going to talk a little bit too. Many fans say, the first wave of protests against the thunderstorm. Mass should be moving to Alinik. I don't think he is. The masses are watching. What are the teams that are celebrating the military? The government has also approved the new law. I'm not sure what I'm saying. However, the first is that the people of the country are not allowed to speak their language. The main reason is that the last few minutes of his stay, the first wave of mass media is likely to be blown up. The 2-digit number is very poor. If he could be younger than 4 or 5 years old, it may be different. I'm sorry that this is not the case. I'm not sure what happened. The mass are the Gold Union. The team with the best chance of pulling the throne down. The first is that they are not the only ones who are going to be able to do it. Become a real army of champions. The first is the Spanish team. Maybe it's just a step away. The only thing that matters is a few key ones. What happened next? We came to talk. If the Maz wanted to borrow a real dynasty, what players are there? The world needs to be traded. This year's repair, the goal is to create a new world. What kind of players are targeted? The players are among the most. We are in Arama. Casso is a young man. Harper is a writer. CB, what is it? The 4 young people are definitely in the planning for the future. DV also performed with swords. I'm not sure what I'm saying. Cornhead's power level is right here. I hope he can do more. It's not very realistic. The government has also been trying to get him to pay $4 million for his 4-year salary. The price is already on the table. The most likely justification is the following. The first is for Fox after being distraught. From season 3 to now, the debate over whether he should be traded. The results are endless. Apologies for the incident. The first is the letter fire. The objective is to, in the current situation, Fox is still irreplaceable. He was a member of the Mars 3 air defense. The best control of the battlefield rhythm. The news of the incident was posted on Twitter. The most experience. West is hopeless for his game. Open search for sovereignty. The real struggle is proof. The biggest problem is that the new words are too high. New contracts reaching $220 million over 4 years. The average monthly wage for a mobile phone is $2.9 per year. More than $6 million. But if only for personal reasons. I also feel that there is no need to put him on the price of goods. Start 2 is a challenge to the soul. He is the 6th person to win 3G in the year. The results of the final were disappointing. The final match to date, he played a great game of color to indicate his belonging. The average is only 8.1 points. Less than 4% of the population lives. He has become a regular player and he seems to have a chance. The first is the ball of the world. He is the only one who has ever been killed. If you want to get too high, Mass can't rule out his potential deal. The third is bonus. His contract expires this summer, but Mars should not be a trainee anymore. The 33-year-old is too risky. The second half of the race. The newly created network is now available to all users. The last one was a country boy. His annual salary of $3 million is absolutely overvalued. The blue version is not just a third. The first is that the country is not allowed to leave. But the problem is, he is currently ranked No. 4 in the rankings of the leading marathoners in the world. He is only 1 centimeter tall. The first is that the number of people who are going to be in the country is going to be a swingman number 23. The problem of defending the top 4 is too big. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get the job done. His physical strength is still too much to resist. No defense capability. The first time I saw the video was in the video game, and I was surprised to see the video. The pressure of the banned horses to share the protective boxes. The first is the greatest day of the world. He is still useful as a substitute. The first of these was the first to be released in the United States. So Mass needs to think how to get a deal with him at the right price. But the wait is, the new website is still upgrading online. The number of people who have been killed in the past few years has been estimated to be around 45 million. The first step is to learn the skills and play to get your horse partners started. The first is the band of the band and the second is the band of the band. What is the number 4 and the number 5? The market is currently trading in the country. The best of the best in the fight. Of course, it is A-Tech. He is healthy and has the ability to live from 1 room to 5. The first time I saw the video was in the video. The first time I saw a small stroke, I was in the middle of a 5-minute walk. His defense diversity. The best defense. The most powerful force in the field is the resistance. The team is not the same as the team that played in the NBA. I'm not sure. H also has a top-flight offense and a free pass with the top-flight handball team. He is very well adapted to the condition of the horse. The power lines that can be used to attack at high altitudes. In recent years, he also develops top-notch triple-doubles. This is also a very controversial topic. The question is, he has won 2 races in a row. The problem of leg injury. I'm afraid to hit a critical moment. He is going to get hurt again, so if Marquez wants to trade him, he can't. This is a question that must be considered. The following is a list of the top companies in the world. The second wave of the storm. I would recommend PJ of Unlucky Man. PJ is also a finalist in the final category. He is not as strong as AG. The third is worse. But the younger and healthier people are better off. What the AG can do. PJ is basically 7 to 80% complete. He is also a strong win from 1 to 5. The following is a list of the most common causes of death in the United States. He's got a wheel to limit the table. The SGA is partly protected by the wheels. The Times is not a news outlet. The first is the fight against the enemy. The spirit of the machine gun is also evident. The world is not afraid of conflict. It's a good thing to be. The government has also been trying to protect the security of the country. The first is the G. PJ is cheap and cheap. The first is that the driver is not allowed to drive. At the same time, his contract is more suitable for Marquez. If the 2 horses don't get the measurement, I'm not sure if there is a plan C. The Magic Inline WCJ. This is a low-rated self-number of 100 people. This year's final, WCJ Field 11 and 7. The Airport War also sent a total of 12 styles. The number of hits was 625% higher than the average. He even got in the opposite position. Almost blasted the pigs. This year's recharger. The Bancaro deal will go into effect. They will have to cut spending. So, what is the meaning of this? WCJ receives almost $20 million a year. It is likely that the trade will be, if Marquez can do it. The first is to build up the internal line. The use of WCJ is also quite diverse. He can play with the Twin Towers with text pressing. The video also shows the video of the video being shot in the background. The first is the 5th place. I'm not sure what happened. The same can be said for the other 2. Marquez is talented. I have a problem. I have epilepsy. The following is a list of the most common. The only thing missing is the experience of stamping. The attackers are also expected to be able to take part in the attack. The world is full of people. The first is the following. The first 2 can be made up through competition and training. This is the only depth. The government is trying to get rid of the problem. We all know. The West is now 2-2. The two sides have taken a military. But whatever the outcome, the first time I saw a horse, I was in the back of the truck. The problem I'm talking about is that there are problems. I will also point out objectively the defects of the conventional. We can certainly say the race was surprising enough for mass. It was successful. But this team, I'm not going to say anything. The first time the country won the division final was in August. I'm not happy with this. They are only a step away from the real king. The world needs to change, reacting to the contest. The Thunder will be their final test. If it is sold, the next year, the Chinese government announced that it would be moving to the capital. If the sale doesn't go through, so they are in the historical position, maybe only in the era of the S domination. The team has always been a bit competitive. What is the meaning of this? The race of the 7G4. The song is a three-part song. Let's see what happens. The Boys of Mars. The first is that the country is not a country.